Across the North American landscape, traces of ancient engineering still rise above river valleys and broad plains. These structures, shaped by cultures that flourished long before European contact, stand as reminders of organized societies with skilled builders and deep traditions. Some were aligned with seasonal cycles. Others mark political centers or sacred ground. Their size and endurance raise questions about the people who designed them and the world they inhabited. In many places, the earth still holds stories that were never fully told. What compelled these communities to shape the land into forms that would outlast their own generations? Centuries before modern borders divided the continent, complex societies lived across what is now the United States and parts of Canada and Mexico. Many of these communities developed along major waterways such as the Mississippi, the Ohio, and the Tennessee rivers. These regions supported fertile soil, steady trade routes, and growing populations. The people who lived here built large earthworks that served as ceremonial platforms, community centers, or markers tied to spiritual meaning. Archaeology shows that these communities had established leadership structures, shared belief systems, and organized labor. Their work shaped towns with wide plazas and carefully arranged mounds. Some formed broad cultural networks, exchanging goods such as copper, shells, and pottery across long distances. Others developed local identities that were shaped by the land around them. As European settlers expanded, many of these structures were damaged, abandoned, or misinterpreted. Early accounts often dismissed the idea that indigenous societies were capable of large-scale projects, leading to gaps in public understanding. In recent decades, researchers have restored a clearer picture of these cultures, guided by archaeological evidence and indigenous knowledge. Against this backdrop, the pyramids and earthworks of North America become more than relics. They become markers of resilient societies whose achievements can still be traced in the land. The story begins with the communities that built them and the world they shaped together. The rise of large earthwork centers in North America can be traced through several major cultural developments. Near the confluence of the Missouri and Mississippi rivers, the community known today as Cahokia emerged as one of the most influential. At its height, it supported a population comparable to some European cities of the same era. Its centerpiece was a massive earthen platform now called Monk's Mound, which rose in a series of terraces. The structure required coordinated labor, steady resource management, and a shared purpose across the community. Cahokia was not the only center of construction. Farther south, the Mississippian culture built platform mounds that served as foundations for council houses, temples, or residences for leaders. Their towns often followed arranged layouts with central plazas used for gatherings and ceremonial events. These landscapes show clear signs of planning and the ability to organize both skilled workers and large communal efforts. In the Ohio River Valley, another tradition emerged: geometric earthworks built with remarkable precision. Circles, squares, and octagons spread across broad stretches of land, aligned with the movement of the sun and moon. These designs suggest a community with advanced knowledge of astronomy and careful observation of seasonal cycles. The structures also served social purposes, marking gathering spaces and shared traditions. Across the southeast, the builders of earlier mound cultures created conical mounds, platform mounds, and occasionally effigy shapes that represented animals or symbolic figures. These forms likely held cultural meaning tied to stories, beliefs, or clan identities. Their construction often required workers to carry baskets of soil, layer by layer, until the desired height and shape were achieved. Trade networks stitched these communities together. Goods traveled far beyond their points of origin. Copper from the Great Lakes, shells from the Gulf, and stone tools from distant quarries moved along well-established routes. These exchanges carried not only materials but ideas. Techniques, symbols, and customs traveled with them, influencing how structures were designed and how communities interacted. Over time, environmental pressures, resource changes, and shifts in political structure affected the stability of these centers. Some were abandoned gradually as populations moved or reorganized. Others changed purpose as belief systems evolved. By the time Europeans began documenting these lands, many earthworks had been vacant for generations, though their significance remained alive in indigenous memory. The pyramids and mounds that survive today represent only part of a larger landscape. Many were leveled during agricultural expansion or lost to development. Still, the remaining sites allow researchers to trace the achievements of societies that built with purpose, cooperation, and knowledge shaped by centuries of observation. Their work formed one of the most enduring architectural traditions in North America, preserved in the land itself. Understanding these structures requires more than identifying their physical features. Each mound reflects choices made by communities balancing belief, survival, and identity. Their construction demanded sustained effort from people who believed their work would strengthen their society. This shared purpose created a deeper connection between individuals and their land. A major turning point came when environmental pressures challenged the stability of several large centers. Changes in resources forced communities to adapt. Some reorganized socially or politically. Others relocated, leaving behind monuments that no longer fit their needs. These shifts show how flexible these societies were, even as they faced difficult conditions. Another turning point occurred after European contact, when disease, displacement, and conflict disrupted many indigenous communities. The knowledge tied to certain sites faded from public view, even though it continued within families and tribal traditions. This loss shaped modern misunderstandings of these structures and led to misattributions that are still corrected today. As researchers began relying more on indigenous perspectives and archaeological evidence, the narrative changed. The structures were no longer treated as anomalies. Instead, they were understood as products of thriving cultures with strong traditions and advanced planning. This restored a sense of continuity between the past and present, showing how these societies adapted while maintaining their cultural foundations. These shifts highlight the resilience of the people who built the mounds and preserved the stories tied to them. They remind us that history is not static. It evolves with new voices and clearer evidence. The land still holds these traces, waiting to be understood within the context of the people who shaped it. Today, many of these ancient structures stand as protected sites. Preserved parks and archaeological research centers help maintain the remaining earthworks and provide clearer context through ongoing studies. Visitors walk along raised platforms, follow marked trails around geometric enclosures, and learn how each site fits within a larger historical landscape. These experiences help bridge the gap between the ancient world and the present. The ongoing research continues to refine our understanding of the people who built these structures. Radiocarbon dating, soil analysis, and comparisons with oral histories have produced a more accurate timeline. Scholars now place these constructions within broader cultural movements that stretched across regions. Indigenous knowledge has become central to this work, offering perspectives that align historical purpose with cultural meaning. This renewed focus has encouraged appreciation for societies whose accomplishments were long misinterpreted or overlooked. Their efforts shaped ceremonial centers, civic spaces, and spiritual landscapes that reflect organized communities grounded in shared values. These mounds stand as evidence of coordinated labor, sustainable land use, and careful planning. The story of North America's pyramids and earthworks is not only about ancient achievements. It is about recognizing the depth and continuity of indigenous history. As research continues, it allows new generations to understand how these structures connected people to their land, their seasons, and their traditions. By placing these earthworks within the cultural and historical context of their creators, the narrative becomes clearer. These were not lost or forgotten civilizations. They were dynamic communities whose legacy endures in the land. Their work remains part of the continent's story, preserved in the structures they built and in the knowledge that continues to guide their descendants.